Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz. This is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB game scheduled for Monday, September 9th, 2024. If you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your baseball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily rundown best bet in the MLB, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Monday, small card in Major League Baseball. First up, the Miami Marlins taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Valente Bellozo and Paul Skeens are the projected starters. I think this is still a lopsided pitching matchup, even though Bellozo's put together a decent campaign so far with a sub-4 ERA. His last game was solid against the Nationals, 6 innings of shutout ball, but he only had 1 strikeout in that game. And while he pitched well in that last one, the previous couple of starts, he gave up a combined 6 home runs and 11 earned runs. So he's been rather inconsistent recently. He's been a profitable pitcher recently, but I think against Skeens and the Pirates, it's just not going to be enough. So I got to roll with the Pirates in this game on the run line at home. Next up, we'll go to Philadelphia as the Rays take on the Phillies. We got Jeffrey Springs and Christopher Sanchez on the mound. Pretty good pitching matchup between two lefties, but while Springs has pitched well and he has been a profitable option for the Rays, the Phillies are #1 in baseball in the last month against left-handed pitching in team OPS. So this is a tough matchup for Springs. Add to the fact that he's been better at Tropicana Field, that he's been on the road with an ERA above 4 so far on the road. I just got to side with the Phillies in this one. Even though Sanchez, I would say recently, a lot of sharp contact given up, hasn't been as strong as he was at the beginning of the year. He has a favorable matchup, pitching at home where he's been better this season, and facing a Rays team that in the last month against lefties, high strikeout rate, pretty low OPS. So give me the Phillies in this one on the money line and run line. Next up, the Cincinnati Reds taking on the Atlanta Braves. Nick Martinez and Charlie Morton are your starters. Now, the last game for Martinez was a win for Cincinnati, and he pitched pretty well, but he did get a ton of run support in the first inning, of that game against Houston, where the Reds scored 9 runs in the first against Spencer Arrighetti. And for a starting pitcher, I think it's a lot easier to pitch when you've got a 9-0 lead compared to, a close game. I still don't really love Martinez as a starting pitcher. And against Charlie Morton, I don't think you're going to be able to get those 9 runs in the first inning. I mean, Charlie Morton's been solid recently. His last 5 games, 3 earned runs or fewer in all 5, and 2 earned runs or fewer in 4 of his last 5. His strikeout numbers are the key for me. He's really improved those lately. At the beginning of the year, he really wasn't missing as many bats as we're used to seeing, but now his last 5 starts, 7+ strikeouts in 4 of his last 5. And the Braves are 4-1, by the way, in those games as well, with a couple of run line covers. So I'm going to roll with the Braves in this one on the money line and run line. Next are the Kansas City Royals taking on the New York Yankees. Brady Singer and Carlos Rodon are your starters. Brady Singer, we've mentioned, he's been better at home at Kauffman Stadium in his career than he is on the road. And that's the case this season, as he's got a 2.9 ERA at home, 3.95 on the road. He's still been solid on the road, but now at Yankee Stadium, facing a very tough Yankees lineup against righties, facing Carlos Rodon, who's been excellent at Yankee Stadium and been much better recently than he was at the beginning of the year. I mean, he had that one bad outing against the Nationals, but bounced back against the Rangers with 6 innings of 1-run ball with 11 strikeouts in that most recent game. I think he's going to be too much here for the Royals, and I like the Yankees to win this game and cover the run line. Next up, we see the New York Mets taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Paul Blackburn and Chris Bassett are your starters. And I think there's value with the Blue Jays in this game, which is how well they've been offensively in the last month against right-handed pitching. They're up there in terms of team OPS, isolated power, WRC+, and they have a low strikeout rate to go with it. So, I mean, they're up there with some of the best teams in the league in the last 30 days. And you face Blackburn, who's had mixed results so far with the Mets. The Mets, lost his last 3 starts before the injury. And before the injury, he gave up 5 earned runs and 10 base hits in that final game against the Padres. His first start back here since August 23rd. I mean, Bassett wasn't his best in that last game against the Phillies, but he had 7 strikeouts. I think the Mets will get to Bassett for a couple of runs, but I think the Blue Jays get to Blackburn and this Mets bullpen, and I think they find a way to win this game. So give me the Blue Jays and the over in this one. Next up, the Baltimore Orioles taking on the Boston Red Sox. Cade Povich and Brian Bayo are your starters. Povich definitely coming off his best start of his career. Now, granted, it was against the White Sox, but 7 1/3 innings of 10 strikeouts, shutout baseball with no walks, exactly what you're looking for if you're the Orioles, especially as we get close to the playoffs, as Povich could be a nice piece out of that bullpen for the Orioles as a lefty. And you're facing a Red Sox team that, Povich already faced and pitched pretty well against not too long ago on August 17th. 6 1/3 innings of 2-run ball with 6 strikeouts. but also the Red Sox in general just have not been the best against lefties in the last month. So this looks like to be, a pretty good matchup for Povich. Boston's ranked 28th in baseball in the last month in team OPS against lefties. They are 29th, only better than the White Sox in isolated power, and their strikeout rate is at 28.6%. So I think Povich pitches well. Brian Bayo's been a profitable option, but still hasn't really pitched that well this season. ERA just below 5. I'm going to go with the Orioles here on the money line and run line. Next up, the Angels and the Twins. We're going to see David Festa and Reed Detmers on the mound in this one. Now, it was nice to see Reed Detmers put together a strong outing in his first start back at the Major League level. It was against the Dodgers, a tough matchup, and while the Angels still lost that game 6-2 in extras, Detmers went 6 innings of 2-run ball with 10 strikeouts. Really impressive start. The problem is, the Angels' bullpen, as we saw in that game, as they ended up losing, not covering the run line. It's the Angels' bullpen has suffered this year, and the Twins are a really good lineup against left-handed pitching right now. In the last 30 days, they're right up there in OPS and ISO, so I like their matchup against Detmers. And David Festa, not the best start to the season for him, but since then, he's been pretty solid. His last 5 games, 3 earned runs or fewer in all 5 of those starts. Pretty good strikeout numbers. The Twins don't always back him up offensively, but I think this is going to be a rare occasion that they do. They win this game and cover the run line as well at Target Field. Next up, we'll go to the AL Central as the Guardians take on the White Sox. We're going to see Ben Lively and Nick Nastrini on the mound. Ben Lively, we started to see him regress, and now he's got that ERA above 4 on the season. He's given up a lot of sharp contact and, recently earned runs, 10 of them in his last 8 1/3 innings against the Royals and Pirates. I think the White Sox can get to him for a few runs, and I think that the Guardians can also get to Nastrini, who struggled mightily in his last game, especially with his control. I honestly wouldn't be shocked to see the White Sox compete in this one. Maybe this is the game in this series that they have their best chance at winning, but I'm also going to take the over in this one. I think both teams' offenses show up. And that's it. Those are the games for Monday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and put those baseball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bet, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.